You know, a few months back, I'm usually on YouTube and I was watching like the usual stuff, and every now and then this tab would pop up. Watch the first two episodes free on YouTube's new Prime service. It's sort of like a subscription thing, and it was for something called Cobra Kai. And I thought it was just a sort of play on the Karate Kid films, and they'd bring in like new people and stuff like that. So when I ended up watching it, you see the original actors, Ralph Macchio and the guy who plays Johnny. I'd never seen him in anything else other than the Karate Kid. And I gotta tell you, I was impressed, really impressed. By the way, I don't watch TV. Really, I never watched Game of Thrones. What's the other things that everyone's watching on, like all your, subscription-based stuff on Netflix? These comic book sort of TV series which last for about a season, and then everyone realised that they suck, and they're using the same formula over and over again. Different mask on. It would be Daredevil 1 minute, who's Batwoman. But yeah, Cobra Kai though, it was good, it was gritty, and it was honest. So basically the premise is this: you end up with Johnny, who was the bad guy, the bad kid in Karate Kid 1, and he's he's struggling through life. I guess that the loss has affected him, and as circumstances come that he ends up needing money, and there's a kid who looks up to him because he's protecting him from some bullies, a nerdy kid, and it becomes the opposite to what Karate Kid was. He then becomes the mentor to these kids who are being bullied. Now, initially, that alone is not a really good premise. But what was a good premise for me is that the grittiness, the realism of Karate Kid is this. Whenever I watch Karate Kid 1, 2 and 3, when I see Daniel doing all that kata and, posing in silhouette, for cinematic purposes, it looks great. But in real life, and this is being proved now on YouTube over and over and over and over again, all that Eastern esoteric feng shui, mind over matter, just meditate your way through training, is BS. One of the classes that was taught by Johnny, and it's probably one of the, if you go into a gym, you need to have this you need to look for a gym like Cobra Kai. Miyagi Dojos would, in real world, would be an absolute waste of money. And I've been to the gyms like that where you're basically just kneeling down in front of someone who's there stroking his own ego. There's tons of them on YouTube. Look up fake martial arts masters, and they're basically walking up and down, and every now and then you hear, the whole group has to shout, "Yes, sensei! Yes, sensei!" And he'll be posturing up and down. And for the most part, all you're doing is you're basically in a lecture. Get out of there if that's the case. No, I always knew I was being BS to. I thought, I'm paying like top dollar for it. I went to one martial arts school where it was £20 an hour, and it was small classes, so you were supposed to get your money's worth. But for the most part, it was just him talking about, in a fight situation, this could happen. In a fight situation, that could happen. I'm telling you, in a fight situation, you are not going to pull off any kata whatsoever. First thing that happens that goes down in any sort of confrontation, for the most part, is the crap goes down your leg, or the piss goes down your leg. Then you need to get a grip and realise that you're in trouble deep. This is what Cobra Kai was teaching. I absolutely loved it when he goes, most of you kids have never been punched before, have you? And he looks with disgust. And he's like an 80s sort of bad boy cliche. And he looks around, he gets the big black bird, and I go, you punch every one of them in the face. And that was the class. Now that's a fucking lesson that you should be taught in any self-defense class. Any of them. It's one thing to throw punches into someone, but if you then collapse after taking one, you're in trouble deep, man. I mean, the first time I actually learned to fight was in a boxing lessons. And that's because I learned how to take hits. I learned how, when you're in a fight, you can exhaust yourself. And that's something that you never learn in these karate classes. They're basically like, they teach you ballet. So, why would Cobra Kai, and I don't think it would just beat Miyagi Dojos in any competition, I think it would wipe the fucking floor with them. It's the message that they have. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Wins every time. Overtrend, become one with your surroundings. No, you when you start filling people's head with too much information, it's worse than filling their head with no information. Now, one time in a martial arts class, I was doing what is called kata, which is basically what you see in Karate Kid a lot of the time, where the hand goes up, it's a block, you take a step back, you hold a good solid posture, and you learn it basically. And when first of all they taught us how to do it, and then afterwards he taught us why we were doing it. And he goes, okay, first thing you put your arm up, and what that will do, and this is after learning it, is that stops them coming. Say if they've got a bat, then that stops them coming down with the bat, and it will block that. Then you take a step back and you pull the bat, and I'm like, well, what if he hasn't got a bat? And it's all down to basically cooperation. I'd be better off going and learning professional wrestling. At least there you're going to be taught how to flipping take a good few botches, and someone's going to bound to drop you on your neck sooner or later. Most martial arts studios classes are bollocks, and if you want my advice, go to one where you know that they have proper sparring, and preferably go and learn MMA, and then learn other martial arts on the side as just do it to go and meet new people. But if you're serious about learning how to defend yourself, which is the main purpose of any sort of martial arts school, Miyagi Dojos, what a joke. And I know loads of people, I've seen it on YouTube where someone's got a black belt, and then some guy goes up to someone and goes, where'd you get your black belt from? And that's something that's bollocks anyway. Yeah, the colour of the belt isn't. I know guys who've never been trained and they're tough as fuck. Another thing people don't realise is, for the most part, a fight is over within seconds, most street fights, if you don't know how to defend yourself. If you don't know how to keep your chin protected, keep your chin to your chest as low down. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to. I once threw a punch and did more damage to myself when I didn't know what I was doing. Swung at the guy's head, and it was at the back of the head, which is even stupider, because if you've ever seen a skull, it's about an inch of bone. Hit him, bottom two knuckles were either bust or. Well, I couldn't butter bread for a week. That's for sure. Now, what's the purpose of this video? Well, the first purpose is to turn around and just say it. Me personally, Edward Levy, I thought Cobra Kai was brilliant. First series, I ain't seen the second, and I'm sceptical about watching it, because you know what they'll do. They'll only start making everything I've just said defunct. And I know that Miyagi Dojo is going to win in the end. But if you've ever watched, I watched Karate Kid 3. And he basically, part of it, he's being trained like Cobra Kai by a devious, sneaky millionaire who's a friend of Kyle Kyle Reese, is it? The owner of Cobra Kai in the original one. His friend is training Daniel how to fight properly, and he's teaching him better. He's teaching him to break boards until his knuckles are bloody. Admittedly, he's doing it to get back at him. Could you imagine if you were into a fight and you saw the training regime of one kid who was posing on stilts and sticks and jumping around on a boat, and another guy whose knuckles were scarred up, who went into a fight with the intention not to punch you in the chin, but to punch the guy behind you in the chin? There's clips online. There's a guy who was what's that pathetic, that it's like an exercise for old people. Tai Chi master accepted a challenge from an MMA fighter, and other than the walking around at the beginning where there was no touch, I think the fight lasted 35, not even that long, what am I on, about 35 seconds was the entire clip. From the moment the first hit landed to when the guy was being dragged off, 2 seconds. I'll put it up now. It's not on now, but I'll try and get a clip of it on now. Like 2 seconds. Tai Chi master, who had probably been teaching hundreds of thousands of people. And I hope now that he'll never teach it. And he come up with the excuses as well. Oh, my shoes were slipping. The same MMA fighter went and did it to like a Wing Chun master. Most of them martial arts are bogus. They're great if you go up against another Wing Chun fighter, but I'm telling you, for the most part, a person is going to punch you in your face, break your nose, and if you ain't comfortable with blood pissing down your face, then you're fucked. You know, it's in boxing you're taught, don't ever flinch. Because the moment you flinch and the moment you take your mind off the game is when he throws in the flipping haymaker and you're waking up in A&E. Well, that's just what I think anyway. That's why I think that Cobra Kai is the better dojo, and it's why Cobra Kai will never die. Bet your ass for Charmian fries. What the hell did I just say? Thanks for watching this far, bye bye.